I would like to welcome Nurit and Tammy, especially the Tammy, the head of the English and elderly and people with disability desert. We are extremely grateful to you for spending your valuable time and your come to explain to us about the present situation here in Israel. And we are very grateful to you. And I would like to introduce these are people. Most of us are coming from the South India. We are belonging to a particular language called Konkani. Konkani community. We are working in South and especially the coastal area of Karnataka and also Goa. We are working as a caregivers, especially in this Erzelia, Nofiam, Nathan, these people are working. So on behalf of all the people, I extend a great heartfelt thanks to you and welcome to you.
Thank you so much.
I would like to welcome you with a small bouquet. That is our Indian tradition. Here we have Sister Gabriele. Sister Gabriele, आमच्या DCची, आमच्या migrants administrator जाऊन आसा, officeची administrator in charge जाऊन आसा, पात्र आयल्या, गावान Germanyची हांगा आसा. Sister, on behalf of the Konkani community, I want to extend a hearty welcome to you, sister. So, I give this one bouquet first to Nurit. I ask Sister Gabriele to offer this bouquet on behalf of the entire community.
Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Embarrassing me.
Thank you. Then for the Tammy, I request coordinator Sunil to come and offer this flower bouquet. Please accept it. Thank you. Please be seated for 1 minute. For the instruction of the Sheta, English and
Thank you very much for the very warm welcome. We're very happy to be here and more than happy to have you here. I would like to first start with some words of thank you. Thank you for staying here in Israel. Despite what is going on, this is not your original country, but you are a part of this country, a very important part of this country. You take care of our families, our friends, and we are very appreciative for you to do that. So first of all, give yourself a round of applause because you deserve it. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And I will tell you a little bit about, first of all, my name is Nurit, I'm sorry. I am a captain, the head of the English department in the Home Front Command. The Home Front Command is a part of the IDF that is in charge of taking care of the civilians. The way that we do it is by explaining to the civilians and to the people that live here in Israel what to do in times of emergency and in times of routine a little bit as well. Now, not only in times of war, we take care of the communities also when there's floods or there's earthquakes or there's other types of emergencies. But right now, as you all know, we're in the middle of a war. These days, we're fortunate today to have a ceasefire for a couple of, it's not a ceasefire, it's humanitarian break. At this moment, as we speak, and I'm excited because we have 25 people that are crossing the border as we speak from Egypt into Israel. Among them are women and children, 13 women and children, Israeli women and children, and 12 Thai citizens that are just being released from Hamas, were transferred to the Red Cross, and they will be crossing the border to Israel very soon. So for me, it's extra special today, because it's a start of our people coming back home where they belong. So, excuse me if I'm a little bit excited today, it's not just because of you, it's also because of you, but also because of these very happy times. Hopefully we will get everybody here soon with us. When this ends, when this 5 days ends, and I really hope there will be more than 5 days, because if there will be more than 5 days of quiet, that means that more people will be coming back home. If more people will not be released in about 5 days, I presume that the war will continue. We are not done. Israel is not done eliminating the threat. The threat is Hamas terror organization, and we want to eliminate it, okay? So when it does continue, we should not stay, even now, during these 5 days, we're dealing with let's say, an unpredictable enemy, okay? There is 5 days promised of quiet, but things have happened in the past. Which means we need to be prepared no matter what the circumstances outside are. Even if they tell you it's quiet, you can go, you can do whatever you want, it's fine, 5 days are quiet, nothing will happen. Still, always remember, something might happen, we need to be prepared. Don't be alarmed, just be prepared. And this is why we're here. We're here to prepare you how to deal with this emergency situation. So basically what you've heard, and I don't want to give you the whole lecture, I want to leave a lot of time for questions. I know most of you probably have a lot of questions for us, and this is more important for me than for me to stand here for half an hour and tell you blah, 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 blah. I will leave time for questions. I will tell you a couple of important stuff. In order to know this, that there is an emergency outside, Israel has 3 means of alert, the Home Front Command has 3 means of alert available that will alarm you to a threat that's coming in, whether it's a rocket and missile attack or any other threat, okay? One of the means of alerts is, of course, your phone. It's a personal alert. If you do have the Home Front Command application, if you don't, please download it now. Why? Because then you can set, first of all, there's a GPS-based application, meaning that no matter where you are, if there is an alert in your area, it will alarm because it works on GPS. The second thing you can do, you can define up to 10 areas of interest, which means that, let's say today I'm in Herzliya, tomorrow I'm in Tel Aviv, or I have friends or family that live in Tel Aviv, or I have friends in Jerusalem, and I want to know what's going on over there, if they have an alert, if they have some kind of emergency. I define areas of interest, and then whenever they have an alert in Jerusalem, I get an alert on my phone as well. Okay, and then I will know, and it says, Jerusalem, don't be alarmed. You can also see which place the alarm is on, and then you'll know when your family, friends, or you need to take shelter. Okay, we'll talk about shelter later. The second means of alert that we have is on the computer. It's called your Home Alert. There's an national emergency portal. It's oref, org.org.il. Okay, it's used in 4 languages. There's English over there, there's Hebrew over there, there's Arabic over there, and there's Russian over there. Okay, you can always switch to English. Also up there in the upper section of the screen, you have alerts, which you need to press in order for it to open, and then you define your area. Otherwise you'll get alerts on the entire country. Okay, but you can define, I live in Herzliya, my sister is in Ranana, and my father is in Jerusalem. And you will receive alerts only on these 3 places that you defined. Okay, that's the second means of alert that you can have. The third one is the one that is outside. The sirens that you hear outside, okay, these are a siren system that is deployed throughout the country. All over Israel, we have these systems of sirens, and they also, sound the alarm when the alert goes on. How long is the alert? The alert is as long as the time that we have to enter shelter. Each area of the country has a predefined time that in that particular time we need to seek shelter, because that's the time that the missile, or parts of the missile, take to get to your area. Meaning, here, let's say we're in Herzliya, we have 1.5 minutes, 90 seconds to seek shelter. Okay? If you look at the Gaza envelope, the Gaza Strip, all the border with Israel, all the cities over there, they have immediate, 15 seconds, or 30 seconds. You know, the further you get, the more time that you have. But if you think about all the cities, all the towns that are right on the border, their time is immediate. Meaning that if, like, let's take October 7th, the horrible day, the massacre that was October 7th, they didn't even have time to prepare. The alarm went on, everybody ran to shelter without even knowing what's going on, but they had to run to shelter, because as soon as the alarm goes on, that means missiles are flying towards them, and it's immediate. Okay? Should I be alarmed if the missiles are coming? Well, don't forget that the system detects, the system of missiles that are being shot, detects the area to which the missiles are launched. It doesn't mean that if there is an alarm in Herzliya, that the missile is aimed towards Herzliya, but it might be towards that area. And not only that, since Israel has the Iron Dome that keeps us safe, protects us, and intercepts the missiles, the pieces, when the interception is up in the air, but the pieces might fall to the ground. Which brings me to the second very important thing is, once you seek shelter, or if you're outside, we'll talk about what you do when you're outside, you have to stay protected inside shelter, or protect your head if you're outside, for 10 minutes and no less. This is very important. The 10 minutes, we keep on saying it every day. If you look at it, if you go into our website, or if you look at our Facebook, TikTok, Pikuda Oref, the Home Front Command is everywhere, okay? You can look up a lot of information up, any type of social media that you want, you can find us. And you see over there every day we tell people, don't forget, 10 minutes no less. Just because the alarm ended, doesn't mean the threat ended. Why? Because it takes time for the pieces of interception rockets to fall to the ground. Okay, and that's why we say stay there for 10 minutes. That's how long we need you to stay in order to protect yourself. Okay, so don't forget, 10 minutes. I'll keep saying it because it's very important, but always stay in safety place, no matter what it is, for 10 minutes. Now there's a couple of places I want to talk about. And this is, some of you guys live in apartments that has a protected room. Mamad, you know what a mamad is. Some of you guys have it, some of you do not. If you have a mamad, we're talking about indoors protection. Once the alarm goes on, we need to seek shelter. How long do we have to seek shelter? A minute and a half. Why? Because we're here in Herzliya. If we're somewhere else, check what it is somewhere else. But we need to seek shelter, and we have a list of priorities. What is the safest place for me to be? The safest place for me to be is obviously a protected room. If you guys have a protected room where you are, always go to the protected room. The protected room should be prepared in advance. What does that mean? It means that you need to close the steel window. There's a steel shutter that you need to close, okay? And then close the glass window, and only that, make sure that the door closes properly. If not, please call the municipality line, ask for help. They will come, they will send people. There's, I don't know if you know, there's an organization called Yedidim. There's an organization here in Herzliya and even in Ra'anana that is called, they help people, they service people, okay? They do it for free. They come to the houses, they check the mamad, they check the door, they make sure everything's okay. I use them. At the beginning of the war, I had a problem with the door. They came to my house, they fixed my door, and everything was fine, okay? So you can always seek assistance, but make sure it's ready. So when the time comes and you do have to go inside a protected room, it's ready for you guys. You go inside, you close the door, and you stay inside for 10 minutes. Okay, always stay inside for 10 minutes. What happens if there's another alarm after 5 minutes? Well, the 10 minutes starts from the second alarm. Okay, why? Again, if we go out before and the rocket was launched towards us, and the interception pieces, because most of the rockets don't fall into Israel. We have the Iron Dome, okay, it protects us. But we do have pieces, and the pieces are big. And if it hits you, you might get injured, severely injured, even cause death. And this is why we want you to stay safe, okay? So again, if we get a second alert, stay another 10 minutes from the time of the second alert. If you do not have a protected room in your house, you might have a protected space in the floor of your building. The same floor that you live in might have a safe room as well. Some buildings do, mostly the newer ones, some don't, okay? So that's the second option. The third option is shelter. There's two kinds of shelters in Israel. There's the shelter, miklat, in your building, and there's one outside. If you do not have one inside your building, there's public shelters, okay? The shelter building in your house, in your building, it has to be maintained by the people in the building, that lives in the building, the house community or the house representatives that everybody chooses. They're the one responsible to make sure that it's cleared of everything inside. So you guys, if there's an emergency, can go inside and stay inside for 10 minutes, okay? If you do not have a shelter in the house, the older buildings do not have shelters. You have to look if there's a shelter outside, public shelter. Those are maintained by the municipality, by Herzliya. If there's a problem and one of the shelters, I don't think they should be. I think all of them were checked already by Pikuda Oref, by the representative that we have here in Herzliya. We have representatives in all the municipalities in Israel. Okay? They checked everything. But if you do find a shelter, a public shelter, that is closed, is locked for any reason, you call 107. You tell them, on Hadar Street, there is a public shelter and it's locked. It should not be locked. We are in times of emergency, all the shelters are open. Okay? But if you do see it, please call 107, tell them. They will send somebody immediately, they will open it. If you go inside the shelter and you see that there's a lot of stuff inside, maybe a restaurant that put all the stuff inside, again, it's wrong. It should be clear. It's the municipality's responsibility, the area. Call them up, tell them, they will come, okay? But that's the third option is a public shelter. Regarding a public shelter, guys, if you cannot reach a public shelter, within a minute and a half, do not try to go there, okay? It's not safe for you. We need to seek the most protected space available within the time we have to reach shelter. So the time that we have to reach shelter is a minute and a half. So if the shelter outside is longer to walk over there, and we don't run to shelter, if it takes you time to get there, do not go there. Find another protected space. What is another protected space? If I don't have a protected room, and I don't have a protected space, and I don't have a shelter, the fourth option is the stairwell. Inside my building, there's stairwells, right? Do not use the elevator. If I didn't say, of course, during an emergency, if you have an elevator, do not use it. Okay, it's very, very dangerous. So the stairwell. There's a couple of things you need to remember regarding stairwells. It is unsafe to stay on the bottom floor, and I'll explain why in a minute. It is unsafe to stay in the upper 2 floors. Anything in between is fine. Only do not sit next to windows, and we'll explain in a minute why. And do not sit next to openings, doors, elevators, anything like that. Why? Because it can actually fall on you. If something hits the building, then, you know, openings is the first thing that's going to fall. It's going to shatter glasses from the windows. Will shatter, will hurt you. The pieces of glass might endanger your life. Same thing goes for the lower floor. What is the lower floor? It's the entrance to the building. What's in the entrance of the building? A lot of glass. A lot of glass, okay? Don't stay there. So we always say sit on the stairwell. Do not stand, sit on the stairwell, wait for the 10 minutes, and then you can go back home. If you're outside also, and you have a nearby building, enter the building, go to the stairwell. Even if you don't live there, it's fine. Okay, this is what we do in times of emergency. We'll talk about it when we get to what we do when we're outside. So if the stairwell is unsafe, what do we do? There's a fifth and fourth or last option while we're indoors, and that's an inner room inside your apartment. What's an inner room? An inner room is a room inside the house that does not have windows, okay, and does not have preferably doors, okay? It's not always a possibility that it doesn't have doors, but if there is a door, you sit further away from the door, but there's the least amount of windows and openings as possible. It can be a corridor, you know, a hole in the apartment. Why? Because most of those places, they have concrete foundings, and they protect us, okay? And this is why we say if you don't have a protected room or a protected space or a shelter, and you can't reach a public shelter, and you don't have a stairwell that is safe because all the stairwells has glasses, or you don't have a place to sit over there, or it's unsafe over there, find an inner room inside your house, okay? If you don't have any of these options, guys, go outside. Go outside from the building. Lie on the ground and protect your head with your hands. The most important piece of a body, part of the body that we have, is our head. Okay? The head can cause brain damage. We do not want it to get hurt, and this is why we always say, if you're outside, lie on the ground, and I'll explain why you have to lie on the ground, not sit, not crouch, not stand, or anything like that. Lie on the ground and protect your head with your hands. Okay? This is indoors. What do we do when we're outdoors? Well, we're outdoors, there's 3 options. We're walking, we're on a bus, or we're on a car. Our own car, or somebody else is driving, doesn't matter, okay? If you're in a car, stop on the side of the road. Doesn't matter where it is, in the middle of the road. Road 6, highways, doesn't matter where it is. If you're in an urban area, an area with a lot of buildings, stop at the side of the road and enter a nearby building. In that building, walk up 1 floor at least, because we don't stay in the entrance hall. Walk up 1 flight up and stay on the stairwell. Once the 10 minutes has passed, go back to the car, keep on driving, okay? If you're in a bus, the bus driver will stop the car on the side of the road, they'll stop the bus on the side of the road. If it's an urban area, then he will open the doors and he will tell you exit and go to the building, because you have a minute and a half. Go to the building because it's safer inside than it is outside. If you're not in an urban area, you're in an open area, there's no buildings. Even with your own car, what do? You lie on the ground. Perfect. You lie on the ground and you protect your head with your hands. Most important thing you need to remember is don't stay next to the car. Everybody thinks that a car is a shield. It's not a shield. Why? Because if a rocket or a piece of intercepted rocket hits your car, if it hits near the gas, then it's a fire trap. If you're inside, you stay inside the car, that's a fire trap. You won't be able to get out and you're inside, you know, a car that might explode any second. If you get out but you stay next to it, again, the car is on fire. If you stay next to the car, you can catch fire. Okay? If a piece of rocket hits the glass, again, you can get hurt from pieces of glass. Or if the car itself gets hit, it can explode. The pieces can hurt you. This is what we say. Get out of the car, find a safe place to go, on the side, okay? And then lie down on the ground, protect your head with your hands. Why do we lie down on the ground? Well, the statistic says that if you stand up and something hits next to you, you will definitely get hurt. If you crouch, if you bend down, 85% chance of you getting hurt. If you lie down, there's a 10% chance you get hurt even if it hits next to you. Why is that? A rocket that falls down and hits the ground goes upwards diagonally, okay? Like this, not like this, it goes like this. Which means that if you lie down, most chances are that they won't hit you. Why? Because it goes up. But if you crouch or you stand, 100% chance you will get hurt. That's why always remember, lie down on the ground, protect your head like this, protect your head with your hands, and then you're most likely to be safe. If you look at the news, a couple of weeks ago, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, there's a guy in Jaffa who thought he was smarter than everybody else, and he thought, oh, I'll stay inside my car, and a piece of rocket hit his car, and he was severely injured, okay? Please remember that, it's very important. Same thing goes for the bus. If you're on a bus, and you're not in an urban area, it's impossible for you to get out of the bus. The driver will tell you, I cannot, you cannot get out of the bus. He will stop. He will open the doors. Do not get out of the bus. Lie down below the window line and protect your head. You sit down and you protect your head with your hands. So if the glass does shatter, then your head is protected by your hands, like we do in airplanes. Remember the safety regulations on airplanes? If an emergency comes up, what do? Take off your glasses, lie down or duck, and put your hands on your head to protect your head, the most important organ that we have in our body. Okay? This is how we protect ourselves when we're outside. What places are forbidden? Not forbidden, I'm not going to say forbidden because nobody is going to arrest you if you go there, but are dangerous for you to be. So it's kitchens, bathrooms, and toilets. Can you think of why these 3 places I will not recommend anybody to enter during an emergency? Kitchens, bathrooms, and toilets. Why won't you go there? Why isn't it safe? You know that during an earthquake, we always say that the safest place to go if you don't have a hiding place is where? The tub. You go into the tub, why? Because it's a ditch that if something falls, you're still protected because you have someplace to hide. It's not the same thing when something hits. Why? Because there's ceramics and glass. The glass can fall down, shatter, the ceramic can fall, and these are things that can hurt you. Do not go to bathrooms, do not go to toilets, and do not go to kitchens. And the same thing goes, as we said before, to the entrance hall of the building. Okay? So we spoke about means of alert, how to protect yourself and what you have, how to protect yourself indoors and outdoors, right? And what not to do. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is what do I do if I have a question? What do I do? Who do I turn to? Please don't be afraid to turn to us. Don't be afraid to turn to the municipality. They're here for you guys and for the people you take care of. 104 This is the phone number for Picouda OF, for the Home Front Command. We have people standing by to take your calls 24/7, at night, in the morning, on Saturday, on Friday night. Whenever you guys need us, we're there. Either on phone by 104, either on one of our social media platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, what other platforms did I forget? Twitter. All of them are available. Guys, please reach out. Ask us anything. We're there. We have a lot of soldiers standing by. We have soldiers that can speak English to you guys. They can speak Hebrew, they can speak Russian, and they can speak Arabic. Sorry, they cannot speak Indian or in the future. But they can speak any other language or the other main 4 languages here in Israel. And please use us, really. The other phone numbers to always remember, 106 and 107. This is the municipality hotline. They're also available 24/7 no matter where you live. Okay? If there's an emergency, please call them. If there's a problem, please call them. They will come. This is their job. The municipality hotline, these are the ones that will send the police, or not just police, but there's like a city patrol cars and security guards, okay? Security officers. They will send them to help you. I want to end here and I'll give the floor to Tommy. She will talk to you a little bit more about how to take care of the ones that you take care of, our families. And then we'll open the floor for questions, okay? Tommy, please.
Okay, thank you, Nurit. Actually, Nurit said it all, but I'll just give you a few more pointers. So I'm Tammy. I'm head of the desk that deals with people with disabilities and elderly. And thank you so much for caring for our elderly and people with disabilities. It's so important for them, especially at these times. The most important thing that you should know and you should do is have a plan. If we plan ahead, we're prepared for everything. Does everyone here have a plan already? Because you've already been through a few alarms. So I assume that you already know what you should do when when you have an alarm and something comes to our area. But what should the plan include? First of all, you must discuss with your employer and the family. The family knows them well. You also know them well, and you're experts already for the care of them, of each of in every difficulty that they might have. So we have different types of disabilities that people might have, or an elderly might have a little bit of many of them as their functionality decreases during the years. So let's say what happens if we have someone who can't hear very well. First of all, Nurit mentioned the app. So the app also has the function of a light that goes off, and it vibrates a little. So if your employers can't hear well and they do have the app, then you can define in the definitions that they'll be able to find out when there is an alarm that goes off. One of the things that we would need to plan for is, once it goes off, where are we going to go with them? If we're at home, then we know where the safest place is already. So if we have a safe room, we go to the safe room. If we can get to if we can't, and we can get to the floor or to the stairway. What do we do if they're bedridden or they're in a wheelchair and we don't have enough time really to get them to a safer place? So first of all, we explained already, there's an inner room. The inner room will be the least windows, the least doors, and we would preferably have their bed or their chair already in that room. If someone needs to be in bed most of the day, their bed should be in the safest place of the house. So if we have a wall that's an inside wall, we would put the bed closer to that wall, not in front of a window. Should be below if there is a window, the height should be below the window. Same if the person is in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair should be in the safest place of the room, in the inner room. Many times you can reach the corridor or another place, but you cannot leave the bed in the corridor because it would block the whole home. So you need to put it in a place where it's most convenient for you to care for your employer and to make sure that they're in the safest place of the room, of the house. The second thing would be, think about equipment. The equipment should also be either in the safest room, which is the mamad, or the safest place of the house. And each person with a different type of difficulty or disability has a different list of equipment. So the plan should include what do we need to prepare ahead of time. So many people would have medicine, special medicine. Most older people have medicine. What if they have hearing aids? Then they not only need their hearing aids, maybe they need reserve batteries. If they cannot see well and they have a cane, then they would need to have the cane handy when we need to take them and help them get to the safest place. Maybe they have a dog that aids them for the blinds, and then we would keep the equipment for the dog in the safest room or in a place where it's easier to grab if we're going anywhere safer. We have other types of disabilities that we cannot see, but like low cognitive functionality. So sometimes you have elder people who forget or are in a stage where they can't make decisions for themselves, and then you would want to discuss with the family what to do. What if they don't know, they don't want to go to the room, or they don't know why they have to go to the room? Something we need to plan ahead and discuss with the family where we should be, so it will be the safer for them, because you can't really, when you have a minute and a half, you can't really do much if you don't have a plan. You're not going to start calling, okay, what should I do? They don't want to go. And you also have to care for yourself and make sure that you're in the safe place. So those are all things that you should discuss with your employer ahead of time. More equipment that we have that we sometimes should really be handy for us would be, Nurit mentioned water, I think, but and special food. Sometimes elderly people have special food, or people with disabilities. They have equipment like a breathing machine. So if we need a special batteries or a generator, we need to know where it is. We need to have it ready in case sometimes if there's bad weather, then no power. We need to know where these things are. We also would usually have a flashlight handy in those occasions, and sometimes a transistor would be very handy if we need to have we want to have connection with batteries and not and we don't have electricity. So that would help us with the alarm. That would help us to know what's happening outside. And a lot of old people just like to listen to transistors. I know my father used to love his transistor, and even though technology evolved and we had TVs and everything, many homes they have them. And just make sure you have batteries for them as well. Every person has his own types of favorite things that he likes to do. Activity is very important for people who are old or who have different disabilities. There's always something that you can do with them. So even if we're in the house and we want to do a little bit of exercise in the chair or walk around, it's very important. If they can go out, it's also very important. But as we said, if you go out, you have to always know where the safest place is. You know how long you have to arrive to the safest place, and you need to look around and check if there's a public shelter, if there's a building that you can enter. You do want to have some fresh air and to have access to activities. Just keep in mind all the time that you know where you are and where you want to be if something happens. And there is a siren that goes off. We have other disabilities. We mentioned blind, we mentioned hearing, we mentioned cognitive. We have sometimes behavioral and things that happen when, with old age, people start to deteriorate in their function. If it's dementia, if it's other difficulties, we really need to plan personally for each person. That's why the planning process is so important, because each person has its own difficulties, his own activities that help him. If it's something that they need to do to keep their cognitive functioning, like cross puzzles is something a lot of old people like, and it's something to keep them active and their brain active, and it's very important. So even if someone's afraid to leave the house, of course, if there's no time to, if you leave and there's not a lot of time to get to a shelter and they want to keep close to home, just keep looking for things that will keep them active, even inside the home. And also think about close places that you can go that will keep them active and functioning and healthy, because the vitality is very connected to the body. Body and mind go together, and we want to make sure that everyone's mind is active and the body is active as much as possible. So we talked about equipment, we talked about activities, and the safest place. And I'm sure that each of you have questions specific to your own employers, so maybe we should move.
Let's open the floor.
Yeah, so let's move to the questions, and thank you very much.
Guys, please ask. I mean, we're here for you guys, so please ask us questions. Really, anything you have in mind, no question is too small or too big for us. Please attack us. Please.
I just want to ask something.
Yes.
You said there is a peace for 5 days.
Yep.
So after that, if they don't stop it.
Close it.
No, I want to stop it.
There you go. Ah, stop it. Okay. Yep.
If you ask for 5 days peace, then after that if it doesn't stop, it will be continue. It's going to be war. So I ask if there is going to be continue, it will be a roster or something, or we are. I hope not, but it will be like this. Like we all are caregivers. Like we have a family, we left our family, children, everything. So if there is some support that it's going to be worse, that you will give us security, there will be no flights, there is no something transportation to go us like this. You are accepting us to release us, to let us go, or you give us security.
First of all, thank you for your question. Yeah. Thank you for your question, first of all. First of all, we don't hold anybody prisoner. We're not Hamas. Okay? So if you guys want to leave, Israel's not going to stop you. We really want you to stay. This is why we're here. We want you to feel as safe as possible. As I said and I mentioned in the beginning, you are a part of our community. We appreciate every second that you guys are here. Without you, our parents, our friends, the people that needs to be taken care of will have a problem, okay? We need you. We love you. Thank you for being here in Israel, especially in this time. So, to answer your question, I don't know what's going to be the status of the flights, because it all depends. When a country's in war, I cannot guarantee that flights will keep on going. As you saw already, most of the foreign airlines do not fly to Israel. Israeli airlines keep on flying. Okay? They will keep on flying for as long as possible. But if it will become dangerous to fly out of the country, then they will stop. We don't want to endanger anybody, not the pilots, not the crew, and especially not the people who are on board the flights. As you saw up until now, we are dealing with two fronts. We're dealing with the south, with Hamas, with Gaza, and we're dealing with a little bit the north. The Hezbollah is not quiet, okay? There are more rockets fired every day up in the north than there is right now in the south. As all of you might see, and if you look at the news, you see it. There's alarm after alarm after alarm. There are people that left their house both up in the north and both in the south. They don't live there anymore. Israel evacuated those people that live next to the border in the south and in the north. They all live in hotels. It's very, very funny, because when people say, can I come to Israel as a tourist? Well, first of all, I always say these questions do come. I have a lot of questions that write to us, a lot of people, can I come to visit Israel now? Well, the answer is yes. Should you? No. I mean, who wants to go to a war area? And the other thing is, if you want to sleep on the streets, you can, because all the hotels in Israel are fully booked by the people that were evacuated. Israelis and everybody that was evacuated up from the north and down from the south, okay? After 5 days, will it become worse? Your guess is as good as mine. Do we want it to become worse? No. Did Israel finish what it started? The answer is no. We will not stop until every last person of Hamas is no longer a threat to us and to you and to everybody else that lives in Israel. Because everybody, you, me, my son, Tammy, her kids, her husband, we all deserve peace and quiet and to live in peace. That's all we want. We didn't start this, okay? But we will finish it if we have to. Because we want to stay safe and we want you to stay safe. So I don't know what's going to happen in 5 days. But I know that what I will do is to prepare you the best of my ability. I will tell you what to do in case you get an alarm. I will tell you how is the best way to protect you and your loved ones and everybody else. If you choose to leave in their flights, nobody's going to hold you here. Okay? We're not. As you can see, we were talking outside about agriculture, and I can tell you that most Thai people left because most of them work up on the border, whether it's in the south or the north. And this is the scariest places to be right now. We're in the middle of the country. I always say that, well, Nana, Tel Aviv, you know, we feel it right now because everybody feels it in Israel. But we're not, we're kind of in the middle. We're not in the north, and we're not in the south. We're in the middle of the country, so we don't feel all the things that they feel. So I can't blame it or fault them for wanting to leave for Thailand. But I can tell you that to the best of my knowledge, and I've heard, there's about 20,000 Indian people that are coming here, and if Israel government will authorize it, to work in construction and agriculture. So if there are flights going from India to here, I'm sure there'll be flights going up from Israel to India. Okay? Any other question? Please. Yes.
God forbid it should not happen. My question is, like, on October 7th, what has happened, like, you know, the terrorists came and they attacked and they did all the, like, you know. So my question is, in case, if there is a terror infiltration, like, if they come and attack us, like, what are the precautions and what are the measures that we can save ourselves, like?
You want to take it or I'll take it? I'll take it. Okay, so what can be done? Go inside the protected room, close the door, bolt it. Bolt it. Put something heavy to hold it. Do not, I know that some of you probably saw in the news, or not in the news, I'm sorry, circulated on the web, kind of helpful tips how to get the door not to open. Disassemble the handle from the outside so nobody can open it if you have a protected room, a mamad, in the house. This is unsafe. Because if, God forbid, something happens, not even a terrorist attack, something else happens, and you need the emergency services to come inside and open the door, if you disassemble the handle, they won't be able. You damage the intactness of the door. So you don't do that. What can you do? You go into the protected room, you bolt it, you close it, and you put either a heavy object underneath so it can't be opened, or there's another solution of a piece of wooden block that's with a hole that they put on the door, on the handle thingy inside, and then it won't be able to move. This is the way we protect ourselves. We go inside, we close the lights, we stay very, very silent, okay? Until the emergency services come, knock on the door and say, we're from the IDF, we're from the police, we're from MADA, we're from any other emergency services here in Israel, and they tell you can't get out. Will it happen? Listen, nobody thought that October 7th will happen. It did. I don't want to scare you, but I want to prepare you, okay? Most chances it won't happen again. We hopefully learned our lesson, and we are prepared. The entire IDF is on his legs. You see, Friday night, we're here. We don't sleep, we don't eat. No, I'm kidding, we do eat. No, we do sleep. But we're here, and there's a lot of reserve. I'm on reserve, Tommy's on reserve. We're not in the IDF usually, but we will stay in the IDF until the end, and until they need us, and until we finish what we started, and we restore the peace and quiet to us all, to you guys and to us. Okay? Any other questions? Questions about your people that you take care of? Things that you want to know? Do you have any questions? Does everybody have the app? Either on Android or iPhone? Do you have the Home Front Command application? Guys, download the app. The most important thing, download the app. If the region in your application store, Google Play or App Store, is India or any place else, switch it to Israel. This is the only way you can download the app. Switch it to Israel, download the app, then you can switch back to India. But you need to switch to Israel, the region, in the App Store or Google Play, in order to be able to download the app. The application, the Home Front Command application, is not available outside of Israel. Okay, so please switch to Israel, download the app. The app is your personal alerting device. It will provide you alerts no matter where you are. It's GPS based. That means you don't have to set each place that you're going, oh, I'm going out to Herzliya, let me set Herzliya. No, 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 it's GPS based. But do put the places of interest that you care about. Also, there's 10 areas of interest you can define, and you'll get alerts for those areas as well. Also, if you open the app, tell me, can you hold this 1 second? I want to show you. If you open the app, and you forget what I need to do, you forget how long I have to reach shelter, in the app, where's the app? The app looks like this. You see, this is my location. It's Herzliya. It says Herzliya Center and Gliliam. Okay? I didn't set it up. I live in Ra'anana. But the GPS told he knows I'm here. So if I open it, I have guidelines for your current location. So it tells you exactly how many people can stay in one place in a particular time. It's called gatherings and services. How many people can stay in a particular place? Now it's 1,000. No more than 1,000 people in one building, in one place, together. Okay, it's too dangerous to have more than that. It has workplaces, meaning the workplace is open today or not. Right now it is. Okay, almost in the entire country is open right now. The other thing is educational services. If you guys have kids, you want to know if the school is open, check out the app. He will tell you here that said, yeah, everything is open. You can send the guys to school. Is it always like this? No. Check with the principal or check with the teacher, because sometimes they say you can open, like we say you can open, but they say, oh no, I'm too afraid to have all the kids, so only on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, half of the school comes, and then on the other days, the other half of the school. But you can open. It says everything here. The other thing it says, if there is an alarm, look, the last place there was an alarm was Herzliya Center and Gliliam. Actually had an alert, right, a couple of days ago. The entire country had. You can go in and actually check the status. You see you have articles here that give you more information if you want to read about the emergency situations. You also have articles, you have other stuff over here, and you have emergency phone numbers that you can always use. As I said, there's a couple of numbers that are very, very important to remember. 100 is the police, Israel Police. 101, Magen David Adom, right? The emergency services for hospital, take care and everything. 102, the fire department. If there's a problem with fire or anything else in your apartment, 102. 106, 107 is the local municipality, no matter where you are. These are their numbers. It's GPS based also. If you call 107 and you're in Ra'anana, Ra'anana will pick up. If you call 107 here in Herzliya, Herzliya will pick up. Okay? 104, Home Front Command, it's us. 24/7, 365 days a year. Okay? Everybody's here. They don't go to sleep. They're here for you. Any question that you have, our guys are here. Don't worry, they sleep. We'll let them sleep. 12 hours, 12 hours. They have shifts. Okay? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. They all have Telegram. They all have places to write a question. We have a call center that you guys can call. You have a written center also that they take your messages and they answer you. They do it on the same day, preferably the same second that they see the message, because they're on the computer the whole time. At the beginning, on October 7th, we had 2,500 messages a minute. People from all over the country wanted to know what, I almost cursed, but what was going on, okay? And right now, less people are calling us, less people are contacting us. Why? Because it's quiet. Because we have an alert every 2 days. Once every 2 days here in Herzliya, right? Not too long. So they don't call us that much, so the answer will be much quicker. But we have a lot of people for you. Please call us with whatever question that you have. We're always here for you. And again, thank you very much for everything that you do, for being here in Israel, for staying with us throughout this situation. Our family is here. I know that it's for your families. I'm sure they call you guys all day long and they ask you how you guys are doing. Usually it looks much worse than it is on the news out there in the world. It looks much more horrible than it really is here. Right now it is horrible here, but it's not as horrible as they see. And again, I personally appreciate everything that you do. I'm sure Tommy does, and I'm sure all of us do. And please, if you have any questions, we're still here. If anybody needs help with the app, if you have questions about that, please help each other, or I'm here. So you can ask me, you can ask Tommy. If you guys have any other questions, I know there's people in the other rooms. If they have any questions, please come forward and ask. Anybody has any other question? So either you understood everything or not. Hopefully you did. So again, thank you very much. There you go.
Thank you, Nurit and
Let's
Tami.
go.
Thank you, Nurit and Tami, for well-informed informations that you have given to all of us. Actually, we know some things, but we do not know all things. And you have enlightened us how to be safe in the room, outside, and also how to take care of our elderly in the case of emergency. It was really, it was informative. Thank you so much for spending a valuable time with us.
Thank you.
In these moments of emergency, we do not go back to India. We would like to stay here.
Please,
And
please, we would love you to
as
stay.
you love India, we also love
Yes.
Israel.
Yes, we do.
And we will continue to be with you, especially in this moment of sorrows,
Thank
in the
you.
moment of silence. And this chapel is meant, this room is meant for that. We come together to pray. And every Friday and every Saturday when we are here, we pray for Israel. We pray for the peace. And we will continue to keep on that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and God
Thank you.
bless you.
Guys, thank you very much.